Brennen, why don't you give us the intro this time?
Cooking with bread.
Cooking.
That's all I know how to do.
All right, it's fine. I'll do it, but next time you're doing it.
Okay, I'll think of some fancy way to start the next one.
Welcome back to Chit Chats, everybody. My name is Antonio.
My name is Brennan. And let's have a chit chat.
Yes, thank you. I was keeping track, and if my calculations are correct, I believe it is your turn.
Okay. I think you're right.
Don't mind me. I'm just like eating dinner like a freaking peasant. Eating broccoli with my hands.
Savage.
I'm a savage. Yeah. Okay. We're not gonna do that. Okay.
Stop.
So, guys, welcome back to Chit Chats. We have a fun little episode planned today, and Brennan, I don't know if you know this.
No.
But at the time that this video is coming out, this would have been around the time that E3 would have been happening.
Oh shit!
And unfortunately,
forgot E3 was canceled this year.
It got canceled this year, sadly. And usually, you know, I would have wanted to do a video where me, you, and like Donovan probably would talk about like our predictions for E3, and then we review E3. That was the original plan. Unfortunately, E3 did get canceled. But I still wanted to do some sort of gaming-related episode, kind of like, you know, in memorial of E3, right? I don't know if E3 is, like, gone for good, but it is gone this year.
I'm hoping it was just canceled this year.
Yeah,
I just know that a lot of studios are going down to private shows, and so it was hard to get enough studios to come out this year and do presentations.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know like the full extent of the story, why it got canceled. I just assumed it was because of like Omicron or something.
That's part of it too.
I assume that was at least part of it. But the spirit of gaming is still alive in our hearts, Brennan. And it has been for a while. At least, you know, I feel like for both of us, it's not a stretch to say that we're both pretty established gamers. You know what I mean? I'd say Brennan more so than me. But, you know, I dabble in games, obviously. You know, I have a Switch.
Which is funny because I didn't start gaming until way later in my childhood.
What year did you, like, basically in this episode, we're going to be talking about, like, our history in gaming and, like, when we got certain consoles and when we got certain games that mean a lot to us and all that. And so, I guess to start out, Brendan, when did you first get into video games?
So I first got into video games when I was probably about 5. So it would have had to have been anywhere between 2007, 2008, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
No, even younger than that. Holy shit! So probably like 4, or so probably like 2000.
What was the first game you ever played, like that you remember playing?
So yeah, that's the thing, and this will explain a lot. The first game I ever remember playing. Going to my cousin's house, and I got sent to his room, and he didn't want to deal with me. And so how he dealt with me is he handed me a controller and said, click this button to swing your sword, click that button to move, and move this to move.
Oh, man.
And said, go have fun. And I sat there and played Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for about 3 hours.
And thus, Brennan was born.
That started my Zelda addiction. So that was the first video game I ever actually played. And then every time I came over to his house, yeah. Or at least the first game that I like vividly remember playing and like really enjoying.
Yeah, because that's a pretty. I'd say that's a really good first game. You know, Ocarina of Time is obviously like, you know, known by many as like one of the greatest games of all time, and I love that game too. I'm sure you still have fond memories of playing that. And
I have so many fond memories of that game.
I know. You got the expansion pass for Switch, right?
I literally got it just for the Nintendo 64 emulator, so I could play
that. Yeah. Did they release Majora's Mask on that yet?
I think they have. I haven't checked actually. It's been so long since they've been on my Switch.
I'm not like up to date on what games they've released. I know that they released Banjo-Kazooie. I know for a fact they did that because I took note of that when they announced it.
Apparently, my Switch needs an update.
I'm really sorry for anyone that's watching and like is getting grossed out by me eating right now. I'm very hungry.
It's late at night and we're college kids. Deal with it.
Exactly. You remember this is also a lot of this episode specifically is going to be primarily auditory, so you don't have to watch. You can just listen, but feel free to do both, whatever. For me, the first game that I remember playing, oddly enough, was not like a traditional game console. I believe I had a plug and play. Those big boxes that plug and play with the big joystick. I had
one of those too. That was the next thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah, well, the first one that I remember, I actually had a couple. I remember I specifically had a Pac-Man one and a Dig Dug one. And so those were like the first games that I ever remember playing. But I think that I was around the same age as you, like around like 5 or 6 when I played that. So what plug and play games did you have?
I had some weird SpongeBob one that never worked.
Was it the one where it was his nose was the controller?
Nose, yeah.
No, yeah. Okay. I love that one.
And then I had a Scooby-Doo one where you're like driving the Mr. Machine on like a cliff. And then the one I had that I played the shit out of, and I'm so sad it broke, because if it still worked, even though it was shitty, I would still try to play it. It was a Pirates of the Caribbean one. And it was badass. There was so much shit you could do in that for a fucking plug and play, dude. Damn. There was like a bunch of different islands, and like while you were sailing around, like ships would appear and you could fight the ships, and like the Flying Dutchman would appear as like an event boss, dude. And you had to like fight the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, see, okay, I've never seen
You haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Are you that surprised? I don't watch movies, dude. Come on.
God damn it.
I legit thought you were talking about.
Yes, Majora's Mask is on.
Oh shit, they did release it. Oh, awesome. I legit thought you were talking about Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob.
Oh my god.
That's like what like entered my mind. When you said
I'm talking about the actual Flying Dutchman that actually is a monster that carries souls across the ocean.
SpongeBob. Right, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
But so you fight the real Flying Dutchman. And you can go to like all these. I'm gonna kill you. You can go to all these different islands and play all these different mini games, like treasure hunt or like a parkour course, and all these it was just a really cool plug and play. I played that shit for hours. I had an old ass tiny box TV that had like the AVA cables in the front of it that you could plug and play into.
Those were like, that's what we're gonna be telling our kids about. Like, back in my day. I mean, like, I feel like that's already like. I feel like some adults that have kids already talk about those.
I mean, I have a fucking VR now. Like, I'm not like just the difference.
That's true. You probably would talk about those primarily. But hey, we don't want to skip ahead too much. What was the first console that you remember owning?
A Nintendo Wii.
A classic console.
Yeah, I got that for my. I think either my. So my mom got me Nintendo Wii because when I was younger, she was really picky about like the violent games that were out.
Yeah, which I don't blame her. For sure. Same with my parents.
And so she got me the Wii because she knew that it was a Nintendo game, and she remembers Nintendo growing up with Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. So
it's family friendly. It's wholesome,
Yeah, even my mom's not much of a gamer, but she remember growing up with my dad and her friends playing on a Nintendo.
Yeah, for sure.
NES system and shit like that.
Classic,
Yeah, and so she got me the Wii. I think it was either for my like 10th or 11th birthday. It was around one of those times. And then the first 2 games I got for it were New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Oh, I love that game.
Just because of the Runaway Guys. Because I watched their Let's Play before I got the Wii, and then when I got it, I was like, I want to get this game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Pokepark. And I played the shit out of Pokepark.
Dude, I love Pokepark.
I never played Pokepark 2.
I did play Pokepark 2. I prefer Pokepark 1.
I've heard that's what most people say.
Which is weird because I feel like Pokepark 2, it added stuff that was like it had more playable characters and more things to do. But like I just feel like the first one was so magical playing it for the first time.
Yeah, the first one was just so perfect.
Yeah, it just like it was just really cool. I've tried to go back to it though, and I definitely like I can't hold my attention for longer than like I don't know, like 10 minutes because I feel like it was only a game that like I could really appreciate as a kid, you know? And like now that I've like experienced it, I can't, at least for me, I can't like bring myself to get in the mindset to play it again, but
Every now and then, I have a 100% completed file that I speed run. Of course, it's nothing. It's nothing like a good speed run. It was a freaking child speed run, but I 100% of the game in a day and a half. Like all prison crystals. At least I didn't go for a full best friend list, but I had all prison crystals, all mini games being unlocked, max berries, everything upgraded, and had all friends at least at friends, not best friends, but at least at friends.
at least at friends. Okay, yeah.
And so it was like it was my attempt at like a speed run, and I got it done in a day and a half.
That's pretty. I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I don't know if you knew this, but the first console I ever got, like for myself, was a DS Lite. And Brennan muted himself really quick, but I'm going to keep talking.
You're good.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a DS Lite, and the only reason why I got it was because I had just become friends with Donovan. This was in like first grade, so I feel like it was around like 2009-ish, right? And Donovan had a DS, and he would often bring it over, and it kind of like blew my mind because I had never like really known those consoles up until that point.
Every person that I ever knew that had a console and they brought it somewhere or were playing it, I'd always be like, "Oh,
I know, I was like, I want one." So I asked my mom to get me one. I got one for Christmas, I believe. I don't remember the first games that I ever played on them, but I remember I had a lot of licensed games, like Cars. Garfield's Fun Fest, I remember, was a specific one that I had.
Probably because your mom knew that. Probably because your mom knew what they were.
Well, yeah.
She's like, this is based off this, and this is based off this.
A lot of Lego games. You remember the Lego games?
Oh, the Lego games are bomb.
The Lego games were legitimately fun. I don't regret ever playing them.
They still are bomb. The newest one that just came out, the Skywalker Saga, was great.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things about it. But if it wasn't for Donovan, I may not have gotten into video games, or more specifically, like Nintendo, as strongly as I am now. But I was in the same boat as you, though. I don't think my mom wanted me to be playing like the really intense, like more adult games that like a lot of other people were. So I never got like an Xbox or a PlayStation until I was like well into high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first console I ever got. Do you remember, like, I know you like, okay, did you ever have a DS?
Yes. No, I never had a regular DS. I never had a regular DS, sadly.
Did you have a DS? What was your first like DS? Was it the 3DS?
Yeah.
When did you get your 3DS? Do you remember?
I got my 3DS for Christmas probably when did Alpha Sapphire come out?
2014.
So the Christmas before. So no, the Christmas after. So 2015.
I mean, okay. I feel like you probably got, because it came out in 2014 right before Christmas. So I feel like you probably got it right at Christmas 2014.
Yeah, you're right, because I got it during winter break after Christmas, and I beat it before I had to go back to school.
Yeah.
So 2014 then, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was most likely not like I'm telling you when you got your stuff, but I feel like that's probably when.
No, I think you're right.
Because I remember, well, and then that's the other interesting thing that I wanted to bring up. Well, and I'll ask you first. When did you first get into Pokemon? Because both me and you, I'd say, are like pretty substantial Pokemon fans, you know?
I was into the Pokemon trading card game and the cards before I was into the games, because my cousin, the same one that got me into Zelda, he had Pokemon cards, and he taught me how to do Pokemon battle.
How to like actually play the card game?
No, like the old school like cheat way.
Oh, okay.
I didn't learn how to do a professional battle until just a couple years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually know how to play the game.
I only do now because I bought a thing from the store called the Battle Academy that comes with like super detailed instructions and like a playboard. and
It's
shit.
pretty complex, so I don't blame anyone.
It's very similar to Magic, and I know how to play Magic. So
see, I kind of know how to play Magic. Definitely not as much as Pokemon, though.
But the games. I'm trying to remember when I first played, because I played. Once I played my first game, I was so in love with it that I went back and tried to play every game that I could. Because even though I didn't have any,
main series,
yeah,
Pokemon games. Okay,
yeah. Because even though I didn't have any consoles growing up, I had friends who had a lot of consoles. Like especially this one friend growing up, he had like practically every console and like any game you could think of. And so all I would do is I'd come over and I'd be like, "Hey man, can I play?" And he's like, "Yeah, it should still be your save file." And so I just continue where I left off.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how I played. That's how with me only having 1, 2, 3, 4 consoles throughout the years, I somehow managed to play all these games. That's because luckily I had friends who had the games and consoles and let me play it on theirs.
So that's the thing about me with that was like I also had like a couple of friends that had like consoles that I didn't have, right? But I was really stubborn. Whenever I would play a game, I would always want it to be like on my own console. You know what I mean? So I could play it whenever I wanted, have all of my stuff. I don't know what you would call that, stubborn, selfish. I don't know what you would call that. But I would just be like, no, if I'm going to play this game, I want to own it first. So a lot of times I would wait to play games until I own them. But I was never really into Pokemon, like early on at least. In fact, I remember
Heart Gold.
Huh?
Not until you got Heart Gold.
Not until I got Heart Gold, because I remember the only person that I knew that was really into Pokemon at the time was Ellis. Because I don't think I really knew you yet. I knew you from basketball, but I didn't know like you very personally. But Ellis was really into Pokemon. He would kind of talk about it to me. I wasn't really like following him that much though. But then I believe it was Christmas of 2010. I wanted, and here's the funny thing, I really wanted the game Super Scribblenauts, right? And I ended up getting that game, but my mom also got me Pokemon Heart Gold. And, as you know, that's my first Pokemon game, but I didn't even want to play it. Like, I was very against the idea of playing it, because I thought Pokemon was, like, for nerds. You know what I mean?
And now look at you now.
And now it's still for nerds, but I am also a nerd. No, but I just didn't have a good impression of it. But then I was like, my parents were literally about to go take it back to the store, and then I remember like looking at it like the day or two after Christmas, looking at it on the table and being like, you know what? I guess I'll just try it out. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. And so that was like when I really fell in love with the Pokemon franchise. I'm talking about it like it's like I'm like I have like a long-term relationship with it. Well, I do. That's
long-term relationship.
Long-term, yeah. Oh, we go way back, But yeah, so do you remember what was the first like main series game that you like owned that you played?
That I owned?
Yeah. You played X and Y, right? Or either X or Y?
No, Black and White actually.
Oh, it was Black and White.
It was my first one. Yeah, because even though it was a DS game, I got it for my 3DS.
Right, because you could play it on the 3DS.
I played that for a little bit, but then during like the last few days of Christmas break, my mom was like, "Do you want to go spend your Christmas money?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I went and bought Alpha Sapphire.
So you got
shit out of Alpha Sapphire.
You got Black and White.
Yeah, no, I didn't own my own Pokemon game for a long fucking time, dude.
Yeah, no, but that's interesting that you got your 3DS at Christmas, right?
Yeah, but someone got me Black and White with my 3DS because they knew I was getting a 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, I know it's not a 3DS game, but I remember you saying you like Pokemon, because of course I still like Pokemon, but I just didn't have anything to play on myself other than Pokemon. And so I heard you like Pokemon, so I found this game for you, and they gave it to me. Which sucks because now I gave it to a friend for him to play, and then I have no idea whatever happened to it.
I gotcha, yeah. I recently, I've like over the years got like a a substantial collection of Pokemon games. But I remember I lost them for a while. And I was so mad because I had a specific DS case that had like Pokemon Heart Gold, Black 2, X, Omega Ruby, all of the Pokemon games that I had gotten over the years, and I put them all in a specific DS case, and then I lost that DS case for years. I only found it last year. And it was
nice.
crazy. Yeah. I'm definitely like hanging on to it though. Oh, and like Platinum and like, Soul Silver, Diamond Pearl.
Like I told you, Platinum was my first game.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Platinum's a really good game. Especially to start off with, I'd say. So you talked about getting a Wii. I remember I also got a Wii. I really wanted like every console that was coming out, especially when I first got like in a Nintendo. So I got like a 3DS. And then I think like shortly after that, I was like really begging for a Wii, right? But I got one like right before the Wii U came out, which was stupid because if I had just waited a little longer, well, it's not stupid because I have, obviously I ended up getting both, but if I had waited a little bit longer, I would have been able to get a Wii U and played Wii and Wii U games on that. So
yeah,
kind of dumb, but yeah. So I remember also watching the Runaway Guys and really wanting New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So what? So because like I know that you didn't always like stick to Nintendo. I've kind of like stuck to Nintendo almost exclusively, and I'll get into that. But like, when was like the first time you got like a console that wasn't specifically Nintendo?
So yeah, for a long time, I had the Wii and the 3DS, and I played Pokemon and other Zelda games at my friend's house, and all this stuff. But finally, on my 16th birthday, my mom got me a PlayStation 4, and it was a PlayStation 4 Uncharted 4 edition. So it came with the game Uncharted 4, Thief's End. So that was like the first game I played on the PlayStation, which I mean, it was a good game. I love the Uncharted series, so of course I played it and I beat it. But then it was kind of like, for me, it was kind of like, oh, cool, first game Uncharted,
Yeah.
And I had other games, but for me, getting a PlayStation was really fun because I could finally play like Call of Duty. Like I'd always wanted to play Call of Duty, but like I never could, especially because like there was Call of Duty on the Wii, but like it never really worked anyways. And like the reason I had a Wii. Yeah. Whole reason I had a Wii is because my mom was trying to not make me play those games when I was younger. Yeah. So it was nice because I was finally able to play games like those and like some horror games that I wanted to play. Yeah. But one of the biggest things for me that came out of getting a PlayStation was I got introduced to my second all-time franchise out there, the Infamous franchise.
Right, I remember
I talked about it before.
Telling me about that, yeah.
I can't remember what year it was, but PlayStation does things where if you have PlayStation Plus, you get free games each year or each month. And one of the games that went for free was Infamous Second Son, which was at that time Infamous Second Son, which was at that time.
What is like what is Infamous like as a franchise? Like what?
It's the one I've talked about before. It's where it's like the you choose your own adventure game, to where this world has powers, and people have like powers of concrete, smoke, neon lights, lightning, or stuff like that. And then you choose how you're either choose to become a hero and like save the population, or you choose to become the villain.
That's cool.
Well, you choose to either become a true hero or you choose to become infamous. And so it's just a really cool game because like in Infamous Second Son, how you start your journey is this like chick's attacking your clan because you're like part of like a Native American clan in this game, and she's like attacking a really nice lady, and you can either, this is where you first choose like your big like be a hero or save yourself. Yeah, and if you click be a hero, you'll be like all right, I'm the one you're looking for. I have the powers, or you can click save yourself, and you'll look at her and say "fuck off," and then she'll just keep attacking like the clan.
Yeah.
And so then they either put you down the way of becoming evil, or put you down the way of becoming a hero, and then you do missions differently depending on how you want to play the game.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I played Infamous Second Son, and I fucking loved the shit out of the game. I played that game. Let's see. I beat that game. I played the hero mode, and then I played the evil mode. And then I played the hero mode again for just fun. And then I played the evil mode again because I wanted to get the trophy, which was beat the game on expert difficulty. And expert, when you play evil, you don't have to worry about accidentally killing someone. When you're a hero, you have to try to just disable them. You don't want to kill them because you're a hero. But when you're playing evil, you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to beat the game in expert mode, I'm going to do evil. And so I did evil again. And then actually, just recently, I got bored and I started playing it again just for fun.
There you go, full circle.
But it just instantly became one of my favorite games. I started looking more into the series and shit like that. And then, of course, now I have a PlayStation 3, and I was able to go out and find Infamous 1 and 2, the originals, and play those finally. And even the first one, dude, as shitty as graphics as it was, and like the voice lines were all weird and all that shit like that, like it was still such a good here's the case for it.
Yeah, no, it's cool to like even it's cool to play older games to just kind of like see where
and like it held up. It's also funny though because the Infamous 1 and Infamous 2 came out on the same console, but the graphics and like power upgrade from just the first one to the second one is crazy because I don't think they realized how strong they could make this game.
I got you. Yeah, they were too ambitious for what they or like. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that was my biggest hit from getting a PlayStation was finding that.
Yeah, well, and I was gonna say like I feel like, because I remember a lot of the appeal of the games that I liked playing was like I liked playing a lot of games that you could play with friends. But and I feel like with PlayStation for you, it's allowed for a lot of like more online gaming and like gaming with friends, right?
Multiplayer shit.
Yeah,
but I do love story games too.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. But
yeah, no, that was definitely one of the big ones. Like I was able to play Call of Duty with the man himself, Camacho.
Yeah, of course, Anthony Camacho. Shout out to
him. So like that was always fun, but yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I had a really bad habit with games where I wouldn't always finish them. Like I was really bad. Like I would get a new game, play it a lot for like a couple days, and then just not finish it. Like I'm like one of those gamers. Which you could argue is fine because like you're playing the game to have fun, and so if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't play it. I don't know. Yeah, but I remember around the same time, around like when I was like the age that you got your PS4, like 16, I started really like wanting to play more games with my friends. But my friends, had like PlayStations and Xboxes, right? And so I was kind of put in this dilemma because
I remember this dilemma because you were like asking everybody who had what. I remember this.
Yeah, you remember that, right? Like I was going to people like, "Oh, should I get a PlayStation or an Xbox?" Because I knew I just wanted to get a console that wasn't Nintendo. Because the only thing that Nintendo had going on at the time was the Wii U, and no one had a Wii U. Well, okay, except for Donovan and Ellis, and a few other people. But like, everyone that like was like playing games regularly didn't have, or I didn't have those consoles. So I either could get a PlayStation or an Xbox. I ended up going with Xbox, as you know, and like, but it's weird because because a lot of like my like main group of friends kind of had that console, and so they were playing. I remember one of the first games that I got on my Xbox was Fortnite. Fun fact.
Oh, of course.
That I downloaded, not that I physically owned, but like that I downloaded because it was new at the time. It like just like okay. Allegedly, it was out for a while.
The battle royale.
Yeah, okay.
Just came out.
Yeah, the part that everyone cares about. had just come out.
Pretty much.
And so like that was like the new hot thing, and so like I feel like everyone was playing that at that point, you know. I know I played. I feel like I played with you a couple times, maybe, right?
I came over and played at your house a couple times. We had it set up where I could play on your computer and you would play on your
console. I do remember that specifically. We would film at my house, and then like immediately after, I even remember in the video that we filmed, you were like, "Okay, we're gonna go play Fortnite now." Yeah, no, and it's funny because even to this day, I feel like Fortnite is still like it's still somewhat relevant. You know what I mean?
It is too, and I'm not gonna lie. Right now, it's kind of coming back, and it's actually I've been actually playing it again every now and then, because there's the zero build mode right now.
Yeah.
And they added tactical running, so you can like sprint, bust down doors, jump over ledges, and like
you can like go first person, right?
No, there's just a couple weapons that when you aim, you'll go first person.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. I haven't stayed super like well caught up with the new updates.
No,
and stuff, but I've seen.
No, but it's honestly like where it is right now is super playable again, and it's fun.
That seems to be what happens. The zero build. It'll go like it'll get really popular and then it just goes down. It's a roller coaster.
Oh yeah, they'll do something here soon that will make people mad again, and they'll probably remove the zero build mode, and people will get all pissy and shit.
Mm-hmm. But then they'll add the Lizzo skin to the game.
Yes.
Or the Jack Harlow skin, and then everyone will be playing again. No,
actually.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but so that was like my like introduction to like, you know, online gaming a lot. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to game with like you or, you know, a lot of other people that had PlayStation.
Yeah, because it wasn't for a while until the crossplay came out for Fortnite.
Yeah, but even then, like, you know, crossplay was there for Fortnite, but like not for like other games. Yeah. And then I couldn't be in like parties and stuff. I think that's kind of why like I got like Discord though, was because it was like a neutral app that everyone could use.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was so I was the one that joined, you know, the dark side. I got an Xbox, but I've always primarily been a Nintendo guy though. Like I'd say, you know what I mean? But that's just me. I feel like Nintendo games like resonate with me more. Like they're able to hold my attention more, you know? But it's just like a personal experience. But so you had a PlayStation. What was like what was the console that you got like after the PlayStation?
After the PlayStation, next console I would have been my Switches.
Your Switches plural?
Yeah, I still have the light and the regular.
I did not know you had two. I
have my light.
I thought that I know that you got the light first, right?
Yeah, I got the light first.
And was that from a friend, or did you buy them?
These are both from the same person.
They're both from the same person. Okay, yeah. Which I think is funny. I think that's really funny.
Hey, yeah, and then you know what's funny too is that if he watches this video, I love you, buddy. You know who you are. If you watch this video, you know who you are.
We're talking about.
Think it's funny. He sold me both these consoles, and then messaged me, and he bought another one.
That's so funny. No,
because he wanted one to play with someone he knew, and I was like, okay.
We don't need to keep it a secret. We're talking about Mr. the Game Freak 326. I believe.
Josh.
I don't think he's made a video in a while.
Josh. No, he hasn't.
But shout out to him because he did give Brennen his Switches or sold him his Switches.
He gave me both my Switches. Told me both the Switches with both these Zelda cases.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I actually legitimately like those a lot. One so much. I just have like a very generic looking Switch case, but yeah, I didn't get a Switch. Did you get that like after the pandemic had already started?
No, I got them before the pandemic.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Those are cool. Those are really good. I remember you talking about you wanted to get those.
I got I got the Switch Lite before the pandemic, and then I got the regular one right after the pandemic. Because I remember Mr. Josh coming by and dropping off the regular one.
Right. Mm-hmm. I remember I kind of like
He
fell
asked
off of
me.
gaming
He
for a
asked me if
while.
I wanted. He asked me if I wanted it because he knew that Skyward Sword was coming out, and he asked
Right.
if I wanted. That he didn't play on it anymore, so he asked me if I wanted um
Oh, so that must have
it so
been
I could
like
do with the controls.
last year, right?
Oh, I've had the Switch for a while now.
Well, but you must, if it was because of Skyward Sword wasn't revealed until last year.
I got it a little bit. I think I got it like right after Skyward Sword was revealed.
Okay. So that's weird though. It would have been last year.
Because me and Josh were talking about it. Because
Yeah,
that's
okay.
one of the reasons he's like, yeah, now you can play the Skyward Sword with motion controls.
Yeah, yeah. I that was like a big drive for you to get it, I'm sure. But yeah, I didn't actually. I really wanted a Switch. See, okay, I was like debating if I wanted to get a Switch or not, but I kind of decided not to originally because I kind of just stopped like gaming for a while, or I mainly would do like Xbox, but that was pretty much it. Because the Wii U was dying. The Switch was like the
Yeah.
console that everyone got, but I just didn't end up getting one. But it wasn't until like I think it was around the time that the pandemic started that I was like, okay, I really want to get a Switch now because like everyone. That's around the time when everyone was getting one because like everyone was inside. I remember like a bunch of my friends just went out and bought Switch Lites, mainly because the regular Switches weren't available for a while. They had like
Yeah.
stocking issues. Um, but I borrowed a friend's Switch for a while, and it wasn't until like my birthday that I ended up somehow miraculously getting my own, which is sitting over there.
You have the red and
Um,
blue one too?
I do have the red and blue one. Yes, that's yeah. Um, and I definitely like don't regret getting one though because it's like my main
No,
console right now.
I was looking for one for a long time because I
Mhm.
wanted to play Breath of the Wild, of
Right?
course.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then Josh messaged me, or Josh put up that he was selling one, and I was like, "No way! How much are you selling it for?" When he told me, and then he was like, "Little insider secret." He was like, "Actually, for you, I'll sell it for a little bit cheaper." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Dude,
So
he hooked you up.
I got it.
That's pretty dope.
He hooked
Yeah,
me up,
for
and
sure.
then so I got it, and then literally like 2 days later, or like that weekend, I went to a video game store and it was like, "Do you have any copies of Breath of the Wild?" Which is kind of funny because like I'm like tempted to like play it again just so I could play it on like my TV now and have
Oh,
it
because you
like
had to play it on the
because
handheld,
I beat the entirety of fucking Breath
dude.
of the Wild on fucking handheld like this.
That is, I applaud you for that because that must not have been the most optimal way of doing it, but you did it though.
No, and like some parts were fine. Like I mean, like it was like normal battles and shit like that was fine. It was the boss fights. It was anything against any of the calamities and like Ganon himself, and it was like
Yeah, I think that's why I've had such like a because I probably could have gotten a Switch Lite if I wanted to like earlier, but I really wanted to wait to just get a normal one because I want to be able to play on a TV, um not like and not that I think that the Switch Lite is like a bad option at all, but
no, it was great. I loved it, and I still use it every now and then. But I
yeah,
definitely prefer the regular one.
I know there's a lot of people who have both just because the docked Switch is like their home one, and then the Switch Lite is the one that they take with them. I think that that makes sense relatively.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, yeah, the Switch is definitely like my main console right now. And I'd say, yeah, I'd say we're kind of chilling right with that. But we've kind of caught up to the present.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess my final
Um,
question. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, you should talk about that. So when did you
um,
get that, Brennan? Fascinating.
literally for my birthday. So
So like a
couple
two
months
months
ago.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Yeah. Well, at the time that this comes out, it'll be like 3 months ago, but sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I wanted one of those for a while. Well, so my mom actually asked me. She was like, "You're turning 20. I will get you a new game console. Do you want either the PS5 or the Oculus 2?"
dude.
And as much as I wanted a PS5, I'd never buy the new console within the first year or year and a half they come out because they're cheap and run like shit usually.
Yeah,
so I was like, I want the PS5. I'm gonna pass. I'll take the Oculus. Because I wanted to play Beat Saber really bad. I love Beat Saber. I spend so much time on Beat Saber.
It looks really fun.
It's really fun. I'll have to bring it over or have you come over and try it someday.
Dude, I would love to. I'd love to, honestly.
Next time we try to like film or something like that, I'll bring it with me and we can try it for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. That's that. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, you just have to remind me.
Yeah,
I have to make sure to charge it the night before.
Because I've never actually used a VR before. I mean, like, okay,
I had a play. So, Mr. Camacho, he has a PlayStation VR.
Okay.
So me and him played on that a bunch, but that one's really picky. That one's old school technology. So you had a camera up on your TV that could see you at all times. You had 3 cables running to the back of the console, to like the back of the headset to connect. You had to set up like this whole box on connected to your PlayStation and shit like that. And so like it was fun, don't get me wrong, and it was amazing. And like it was the first time I ever played Beat Saber or like Super Hot, which I play a lot of that too. Or experience like any VR video. But it was limited to what you could do.
Right.
This one's got no cables, it's got nothing. You just load it up, senses your area, you lie out your guardian, which is what they call like your safe area to play in, and then you play. You can literally move it wherever. And it keeps track too. It's kind of creepy because when I'm in my room, it reads my room and remembers where I am. And it's like, this is your previous guardian.
It's like,
and then I take it downstairs.
Like the idea that
this is your new guardian.
It's like technology that it's weird that we live in an era where that technology is like possible. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know what's cool too? I had no idea this existed. At my school, we have a welding VR.
What? A welding VR?
Yeah. So you put it on, and it has a backstrap like a welding helmet.
Yeah.
So it has like a turn knob on it, like a normal welding helmet. So that's how you increase the size of the VR headset. And then you put these little glasses down in front of you, and you're in this. It's like old school VR technique. Everything looks super shitty.
Okay.
But it's like super accurate, and like you can weld. It's a wire welder or a TIG welder or a stick welder, and like it actually will give you different kind of joints and all this shit, and you can like actually do lines and do welds in it. And me and the class were fucking around a couple days ago because we're having a big it's called the Welding Expo at school, and so we were making sure it worked. So when people come in, they can try it.
That's cool. That's really cool. Damn. Everyone has a VR, but me. I don't know. One day I'll play one. But
they're not called Oculuses anymore. They're called MetaQuests.
Oh, whatever. They're Oculus.
It changed though. I had a big ass update on my console, and I was like, "Damn, what's it doing?" And literally all it did was change it from whenever it's loading up from the Oculus logo to the Meta fucking logo.
That's the future. I do think I think we're gonna be wrapping up this episode. Before we wrap it up for good, though, I do want to ask, like, what are you currently like playing right now? Like, what are you invested in? What game?
Currently playing
the main game.
I don't have much time to play a lot of things because of work and school, sadly. I play a lot of Beat Saber. Right. I play a lot of Beat Saber when I have the time. Like I said, I got bored and I just started another file of Infamous Second Son. So I've been playing that a little bit every now and then. When I get the chance, I play the old school Zelda stuff on my Switch. And then like I said earlier, just every now and then I load up Fortnite just because with the zero battle mode, it's a little bit more fun now.
Yeah.
Mainly when Anthony's on, because Fortnite's never been fun to me in single player mode.
Yeah, no. I don't think I've won a single player game. Because I don't typically play the single player. Multiplayer is where it's at. With Fortnite, at least. It's weird, though, because right now, I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, anytime I have time to play a game, I've never beat that game, so I've just been playing it on the Nintendo Switch, like the NES Online shit.
Nice.
So, yeah, I just, you're playing Zelda, I'm playing old school Mario. We're old school boys,
Things never change.
Exactly. But except one thing that does change is the fact that this episode is going to end now. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Chit Chats. Brennan, thank you for being here and sharing your gaming experiences. Um, and to everyone watching out there, have a good E3 season, even though E3 is not happening. It's happening in our hearts, right, Brennan? Right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Why don't we get like a direct soon?
Maybe. But hopefully, we'll see. Either way, we'll be here in the next episode of Chit Chats. So stay safe, stay healthy, stay beautiful. We'll see you guys. That's the new outro I'm doing, I guess. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Names and eat
Bye. What was that?
Smoke grass, sled fast, and eat ass.
Yeah.